All right, welcome back to the 0 to 7 podcast, where each week we talk about our business decisions and strategies to reach our goal from going from 0 to 7 figures of income in just 1 year.
Dean, where have you been?
It really hasn't been each week we were talk about it. It's been
where have you been, Dean?
Each month.
Each month.
The last recording, the last notes that I have on here is week 17, but I don't know that we ever actually recorded that one.
Oh.
So I don't know if that was actually there or if I just have notes for it.
And never
so
finished it.
Somewhere between 16 to 24. So it's been 8 weeks. Because we're on week 24 weeks. Now. We've been out. You can see we're in our new studio. We've been recording up on the third floor here, but we have been working on this renovation since we started planning it in December, started working on it in February, and it's finally done. And so we're finally here in the actual studio.
So we should have some better audio.
I don't know about that.
Oh.
We'll have adequate audio yet again.
It'll be better than what we got. So.
Yeah, I definitely have less echo. I'm hearing that already.
Yeah.
I got some nice soundproofing and stuff. But we've definitely got more space now. We have this done. This has been a huge, just sucking all of my extra time.
Yep.
And it's been sucking all of my time from marketing and from the podcast. So
we're back.
So pretty much I haven't been doing a whole lot of marketing for Lime Green, but that's kind of intentional. It also just happened to work out that we're doing this renovation at the same time. But do you want to kind of talk about some of those reasons?
Yeah. So so first off, we just ran out of people. It's where we're at. So we ended up having to shut off the marketing because we had too much business and we couldn't handle all of what we had. And what that came down to is we did have to get rid of some people. Mm-hmm. Well, I said some people, really it was just one. And once so we had to, I think that was our first person we had to let go. But we got, after that we kept them as busy as they wanted to be. So as much as they want to be on the schedule, they're on the schedule. So we had to now figure out how to take all their business and hand it off to someone else and get everything going. So in the process, we did lose some of the clients we had, but we had to do what was best for the business.
Yeah, it was a difficult like transition because I mean there was so much reshuffling.
Yeah, we had several of them we lost money on because we had to drive people halfway across the state to go make sure we took care of the client. But we got everybody taken care of. You always customer service first. Make sure they're still taken care of on the day that they need to clean today. We'll make sure we're there. So,
right. Yeah. It's almost better to make sure that you're losing money on one clean rather than losing all of the money for that entire client.
Yeah. So we had to stop the marketing to make sure we didn't get more business that we couldn't actually make sure we could actually do. Mm-hmm. So we shut that off. Well, we didn't really shut it off completely. A couple times we just a little less than what it was doing. But then we finally I think it was this month, we haven't had it on at all. I don't think.
Yeah, so. Last month, I was in conversations with Yelp, moving us up to the next regional level rather than just hyper local. We moved up to the regional office, and basically what the guy was telling me was you're gonna get better cost per click and a whole bunch of other stuff if you just advertise the tail end of the month.
Yeah.
So we're okay, cool. That saves us some money.
Yep.
I like the idea of that. And so we just started turning off the ads for the first 2 weeks of the month and then running them the rest of the day or the rest of the month. But last month, I think we had to turn it off because it was working too well.
Yeah, we had too much and it was so we also had to figure out our hiring process a little better than what we had.
Yes.
So we do have somebody that does it full time, as we talked about before, but we had to get more people. So we just had to get through all the applicants we had and figure out some good ones. And we had some people start and they actually never made their first cleaning we actually did have one that kind of turned out bad. We had them hired. We had a full-time cleaning for them. Never showed up for it. The first one, we ended up losing that client. So that was That was one of them that was going to
That
be a pretty
hurts.
big client. So
Mhm.
it was full time. They were ready to be full time, and we
They just
couldn't
ghosted
fulfill it.
us.
So
Oh, you know what? I remember this. Yeah. I remember
Julie
coming
had to
into
go
work
do
that
it.
morning and like,
we couldn't find the person.
yeah, they just kind of fell off the face of the earth the day before.
Yeah. So no, it was that day.
It was that day that they just all of a sudden just like, oh,
Yep. So we had that
lovely.
one. And then so we had a couple of people that we hired. So now we're caught back up again. So like after probably next week we should be caught up in
Mhm.
trained a little bit, making sure that they're up to par and kind of caught up. We won't be fully caught up by next week, but we'll be kind of caught back up.
Yeah.
So we actually, knowing the fact that not every single one of them is going to make it to their first day, we've kind of hired a lot in the last
more
week.
than what you necessarily
we're-
think. Yeah.
We might be, if they all make it through, which probably watch this time, all of them make it through.
Yeah.
And then we'll be like, oh, guess we got to get those ads back on. But this way, we knowing that some of them might not make it, now if they all make it, we'll be overstaffed. So,
Yeah.
which is what we need to keep, so we can keep going.
Well, and it's a different problem than what we've had with Windows still, right? Like if we,
Completely different.
when we get a photographer, you can pretty much bet on them taking 1 week to 2 weeks off that for the entire year, and they will show up very reliably for everything else, and they'll even feel bad about those 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Freelancers are weird. I don't know what's wrong with us, but
Yeah, it's a whole different ball game from
Yeah.
the people we've like. We also had the most amount of people we've ever had call in any of the businesses combined. With just the cleaning business alone, that one we've had more people call in that one in like a month period than all
in the
of
6
Windows
years.
Still with all the employees we have, and just like I don't think I've rarely remember somebody calling in.
Yeah.
Where this one's like,
And normally it's like, hey, I blocked this off like months in advance.
and
It's like you plan for it. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was another thing we've been dealing with, figuring out, but now kind of the overstaffed will help that out. So then something happens, we got back up now. So it's a little more easier than what we had.
Yep. The ads are back on. We're advertising in a new city now because we've got a cleaner in Grand Rapids now. So
She's doing really good. I saw her getting some really good reviews. They were super. They emailed us to let us know how well she did.
Oh,
They could not find anything wrong. So that was a really good one.
Yeah.
So that city, and then back to Detroit should be going here soon. They should be trained up hopefully by next week. So
cool. Yeah.
What else?
All right. So that's why the marketing's kind of fell off the face of the earth, because we kind of needed it too, and we needed this renovation to get done. Need to get all of this. Big desk.
Big desk.
We had to finish big desk.
It is. Dean
Desk
did a really
equals
good job,
big.
guys. He's
And Dominic.
Yeah, Dominic's back there. If you guys can see him in the in the bokeh in the background.
But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much what we've been dealing with for the last 8 weeks. It's been pretty steady. It's been kind of like the same problem over the last 8 weeks.
Yeah.
Just getting people to be reliable in a way that we've never had to before. So by overhiring, I'm very curious. I kind of hope that we have too many.
Me
so
too.
that I can go back to advertising a whole bunch.
Yeah, but it's like it also makes it a very fine line to run on, because if you're overstaffed now, they're going to be like, I don't have any hours, so I want to quit.
Right.
So you go, so it's like you kind of follow it together. And I think when the last way, like we want to fill up the schedule they had, makes it a full, and then all of a sudden dealing with that. But then all of a sudden, if it's overstaffed, so that's why I keep going with Mandy. I'm like, hey, when are they ready to go? So I can get Dean to make sure those things are running. Because we need to make sure they're filled up.
Yeah.
But we also did hire a full-time person too, which is, we tried a little different method, because most of the time we've been doing just part-time people. That way it works best, because then they can just work as much as they want and then kind of have the flexibility with when they need off. But we're starting to get a lot of people that are, I want a full-time hours, blah, blah, blah. But we did hire somebody full-time to make sure we could take on an Airbnb that we had. So we took on somebody full-time salary to make sure that we're like fully committed, make sure they're all good to go. So we always have reliability there. And that it's been different than what we I was like, we're never going to hire a full-time one again. Try that. Not going to do that method. But now that we actually
2 months later,
some more people that I can like, we have some cleaners that I know, like they're ready to go full-time. I'd like to put them on full-time, but they like the part-time. So
I like that flexibility.
Yeah.
Well, we've got photographers that do the same thing. So
we just like to give the people flexibility. If they want more time off, they got more time off. So everyone wants a different thing in life. So some of them want to make sure they got their full-time hours and do this. Some people want less hours, so they want to only work 3 days a week. So, but that's not everybody.
All right. Well, you want to talk about the numbers?
What are we at? We're at 76,000.
Yeah, 75.9.
75.
I think we're like
25.
I think we're like $25 short of.
Yeah. So I'm sure if I go look in the bin up there, at least 76.
There's something sitting up in the bin to get put in. Yeah. It's double what we were when the last recording 8 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So I didn't actually look to see like how on track we are or off track. Chances are it's off track. Yeah. Chances are it's off track.
We're way off track.
But aim high.
Yep.
And it'll definitely, the thing that I keep coming back to is how many businesses in their first year, especially like in, cleaning, or like if you're starting off, you're off a business, how many can say that they've already reached, or they would have reached 80 even within the first year?
Yeah. Well, hey, if you look at the trend on there, only with the residential recurring ones we have on there, it's over 100K.
Yes.
So it does show that
I did
on there,
see that.
So, but that doesn't count anything commercial. So.
But, and that's only like 2 months out. It schedules it like a month out.
It only schedules
out
2 months in advance.
Yeah.
So I guess there's another 25K of just
there's stuff sitting out there.
But like recurring.
Even just like looking at like what we've done already, like if 80,000, how many businesses in their first year aim for, I want to make it, a viable business for me and just Dean. That one person.
Guys, Dean's trying to talk us up. No, we still got a goal here, Dean.
Oh, we've got a huge goal.
We may mess it up, but we're good, Dean.
I'm super proud of like how far it's going and everything, but I keep looking at that chart and I'm like,
oh, I know.
I get a little anxious sometimes, but then I have to remind myself, okay, we're still like.
Remember what Julia got us?
Works. Yeah,
it's next month.
Oh, I cannot wait to talk about that. We've got a big project coming next month, so that'll be super fun to talk about. And recurring bookings are 69. We dropped some just because of people reliability things.
Yep.
But we're still at our goal, 70%. And I think that's a good indicator of like how reliable of a company that we can be. And that's super awesome. But I think that's all we have time for, right?
Yep.
So we gotta get out of here. So, all right, that's all the time we have today. Thank you so much for listening to the podcast. If you enjoyed this podcast, be sure to subscribe on whatever platform you're listening or watching on. And if you really like this podcast, make sure to leave us a 5-star review. Every rating really helps. If you dislike this podcast, go ahead and hit that dislike button twice. See what I did there?
I like it.
And we look forward to seeing you guys in the next episode.
I like it.
The next episode, the next podcast.
See ya.